Hello everyone, and welcome to the final episode, or should I call it the wrap-up episode of the Kádàrá Woman Podcast Season 1. I am your host, Lola Harris, and what an incredible journey it's been for the past 3 months. We've had over 13 episodes, and we've had the privilege of amplifying the voices of remarkable African women who are truly living purpose-driven lives. And I would love to take a moment to just share again why I started this podcast. It's for many reasons, but for one, I know and you know that Africa is more than just the single negative narrative. We're so much more than the stories that are out there in the media. And I wanted a platform that would amplify positive stories and take a poke at that narrative. I also wanted to tell stories from the lens of women of African descent who are usually often overlooked in the media, and thought the podcast could be a place of inspiration, empowerment. It will offer fresh perspectives on universal themes of personal growth, overcoming self-doubt, career development, and societal impact. But I'll say this though, even though I'm spotlighting African women's stories and experiences, these stories are human stories, and they should resonate deeply with a global audience of ambitious, forward-thinking women and men who are seeking inspiration and practical insights. But it doesn't stop there. I also hope that by curating these stories of women who have pursued their own authentic calling, their own Kadara, that it also galvanizes you in your own quest, whatever that might be. So, what did we accomplish in season 1? Well, from climbing Mount Everest to curating Afrocentric home goods in a way that's never been seen before, our 12 guests have shared their inspiring stories, challenges, triumphs, and the mindsets that got them there. And I'm extremely proud to say that we featured voices of women from 8 African countries, but of course, we still have so much more work to do. I'm also thrilled to share that the Kádàrá Woman Podcast reached listeners in 17 countries, including Finland, Qatar, Maldives, and Singapore. Oh, fun fact, I've never been to these countries, by the way. And it's also reached 22 states within the US. We surpassed our weekly download targets, averaging 37% increase every week, steadily growing our unique listener base every month. And it's all thanks to you, our listeners. I cannot say how much your enthusiasm and support for the podcast has meant to me. It's been truly overwhelming, and I thank you for that. I want to take a moment to also revisit some of the stories we heard from this season. So starting from the very beginning, we had Yetine Shorter setting the stage and sharing that it's not enough that you know what your purpose is, but that the work is in the mastery of that purpose. And so if you haven't listened to that episode, do yourself a favor and just check out the first 2 episodes. I think they're nuggets that would just inspire you to figure out whatever it is you're supposed to do on this earth. And then we have Sarah Kamalu, who shared her near-death experiences not once but 3 times, as she became the first Black African woman to summit Mount Everest. We had our corporate mavens, Irina Sare, Rashida Abdullahi, who dared to become entrepreneurs and create impact-driven businesses that tied back to the continent. And in one of our most popular episodes, Shade Curry shares how she overcame the traditional norms around divorce, found her purpose in becoming a relationship coach, and also reminded us that we can all take a bet on ourselves, and the courage we need to do so is within us. And then we have our entrepreneurs. Actually, I think every single woman who was featured this season is an entrepreneur, has been one, or is currently one. But in this case, we have Ola Erogbuwo with her family jewelry line, Favila Fongang, an award-winning serial entrepreneur, Kozi Zanje, who is pioneering African beauty products in Zimbabwe. And then we had Kemi Lawson with the Afrocentric home goods and how that's propelling our narrative in a different lens. All these women have overcome self-doubt to pursue the dreams that set their souls on fire, but also recognize the importance of representation in whatever they're doing. And then who can forget Joy Kuta, who overcame 32 rejections to medical school to leading the charge for the Juneteenth corporate revolution here in the US, which is a big deal, by the way. And then we had our author, Lane Akanza, who had us laughing with her courage, yet self-confident recounts on her journey to becoming a children's author and publishing her first book. And then last but not least, we wrapped up the season with purpose, just like we started, thanks to Folashok Badamasi, who reminded us that we should challenge societal and self-imposed limitations and instead embrace our true selves and pursue our unique paths. So as you can see, These women are representing so much more than a single story. Collectively, their stories have touched on themes of resilience, courage, overcoming self-doubt, overcoming fear, representation, self-discovery, a strong mindset, and faith. And these are themes that I hope resonated with you at some point during the season. For me, one of the biggest takeaways was that I saw a bit of myself in every single one of these stories, either from where they came from, their childhood dreams, the decision to pivot from an academic track or a career track that wasn't quite the right fit, to overcoming fear, self-doubt, procrastination, and ultimately taking a bet on oneself. We also had our laughs, lots of laughs. And who would have thought that I would have a TikTok account and also participate in the TikTok trend? Very demure, very mindful. The point is that these stories remind us of the incredible potential within each and every one of us, and the power we have to make a difference in our environment, our sphere of influence, or in the spaces that we take up. Like some of you, all these women have had to pivot at some point in their journey. Some had to pivot multiple times, and they were fine with it because it was aligned with their calling for their lives. And if I had to summarize everyone's collective thoughts and destiny, it's quite simple. It is up to us to make do with the seeds that have been planted within us. And as we look ahead to season 2, I'm excited for the new guests that we have lined up, more amazing women sharing their stories. We're also working on some new exciting features, including a newsletter and a website to bring you even more inspiration and connection to our growing community. We're launching a LinkedIn page to increase our reach, so now listeners and fans of the podcast can find us on LinkedIn, Instagram, and TikTok at Kádàrá Woman. And all these updates will be pushed through social media. So make sure you stay tuned and have your notifications on. From the very bottom of my heart, I just want to say thank you to my team, to my friends and family, and last, the listeners. Because without you and your support, it would not have been possible to weave this vibrant tapestry of African narratives and reshape the global perceptions that are out there today. And so until next season, keep dreaming big, breaking those barriers, and remember that your Kadara moment of clarity may have already happened, and all you need to do is just step into it and embrace it. This is Lola Harris, signing off for now. So stay inspired, and see you soon for season 2 of the Kádàrá Woman Podcast.